If you're postpartum and dealing with brain fog, anxiety, mood swings, don't just take random supplements without first understanding what's going on with your biology. These symptoms and many other new mom symptoms are typically just blamed on lack of sleep and stress. But for a lot of moms, these are actually symptoms of depletion. If you're a new mom struggling to feel like yourself, motherhood depletion might be the elephant in the room that nobody's warned you about. So I'm going to show you the 4 supplements that I use in my clinic that help moms feel calm and clear again, even when sleep sucks. By the way, if you want me to email you a list of all of these supplements that we're going to talk about today, including the brands and doses and where to buy, just drop your email in the link below and I'll send it to you. Okay, but first, here's a little postpartum nutrition 101 that moms and most doctors don't get. Your body basically treats pregnancy and postpartum like a no-limit credit card. It will pull minerals from your bones, fatty acids from your brain, amino acids from your tissues to build and feed that baby. Doesn't care if you have anything left for yourself at the end of the day or at the end of postpartum. Taking a prenatal during pregnancy and postpartum can help, but it mostly just covers baby needs and doesn't really protect or replenish mom's nutrient stores. And so this is why the postpartum phase doesn't end at 6 weeks. If you aren't intentionally paying back that nutrient debt, then your body stays in this combo state of both high alert and clinical exhaustion. And this is what I call maternal depletion. When you feel wired but tired, moody, or really just off, those aren't just symptoms of motherhood. So in my 16 years of working as a dietitian with moms, I see these as classic signs of maternal depletion. Your body gets stuck in survival mode because it doesn't have the raw materials that needs to actually repair your body. So if you've had multiple back-to-back pregnancies, this works like basically reverse compound interest. These 4 supplements that we'll talk about today aren't just extras. There really are specific targeted building blocks that we use therapeutically in therapeutic doses to move your biology from shell of a person to functionally human. Let's start with the one that literally replaces the essential nutrient that your baby snatched from your brain. So your baby stole your omegas, your butt too, but we'll talk about that another time. Omega-3 fats, especially DHA, are prioritized for baby brain and nervous system development during pregnancy as well as breastfeeding. Your body will basically donate all of its DHA from you to give to baby, whether you have extra or not. But DHA isn't just for the baby's brain, it's for your brain too. It's one of the main fats that makes up your brain cells. And EPA, which is the other big omega-3, helps keep inflammation down, again, especially in the brain. So when you're low in these, mood, anxiety, and brain fog can hit harder because your brain is trying to do high-level work without the raw materials. And yes, of course, postpartum depression and anxiety are definitely multifactorial. This is one lever, and it's a lever that you can actually pull and have control over. So I really like to emphasize this for all moms dealing with mood disorders. In my clinic, I run an omega-3 index. It's a blood test that looks at omega-3 levels inside your cells. And consistently, when I run this panel on my postpartum moms, I see really low levels for the first 2 years postpartum. So bottom line, we basically need to replace what was stolen from you. Okay, so when you're looking for a good fish oil, flip the bottle over so that you can look at the nutrition facts. I don't really care what the front label says. I care how much actual milligrams of EPA and DHA there are, as well as the ratio. We're looking for about a 2-to-1 ratio of EPA to DHA. This is likely different than what you took if you took a prenatal omega-3 fish oil during pregnancy, because those tend to be higher in DHA than EPA. Okay, rebuilding your brain, step 1. Step 2 is my supplement stack that can actually help you chill out and calm down your nervous system. Because let's be real, you might not just be tired, but a brutal combination of anxious and exhausted. Your body is begging for sleep, but your brain might be ready for its daily 3 p.m. anxiety spiral, your 2 a.m. summary of every text you didn't answer, every appointment you forgot, and every time you lost your patience. So a postpartum patient of mine was just like this. Her baby finally started sleeping through the night, about 9 months old, and so she was like, finally, amazing, I'm gonna start getting some rest and feeling a lot more refreshed and energized. But the problem was her baby started sleeping through the night, but she still couldn't sleep. Her mornings were basically like coffee first because she was just trying to survive. Lunch was basically whatever her toddler didn't finish. And by mid-afternoon, she was feeling really anxious, overstimulated and really snappy. And then when bedtime hits, she's just laying there ruminating, scrolling, replaying conversations in her head while her body is exhausted and her brain might as well be hosting a TED Talk. And when I see that pattern with my patients, yes, food matters. We meal plan in order to stabilize blood sugar and making sure she's getting enough of the actual materials to build things like hormones and neurotransmitters. We'll do a whole video on that. But in the meantime, some nervous system helpers are really fair game here because sleep is so important. We want to really throw as much as we can at that when we're having sleep trouble. Okay, because I'm a little extra, I don't just have one supplement recommendation for you here. I have a whole sleep stack that you can either use one of, whichever one feels like it's the right fit for you, or you can layer on and really get the most support out of this stack. Okay, so first one I like is magnesium, specifically magnesium glycinate. So magnesium is a mineral, it's an electrolyte involved in the relaxation pathway, and it's depleted during pregnancy and in general times of stress. So pregnancy, birth, postpartum, lack of sleep, new huge responsibilities, all of those things really stress out your body, and magnesium gets depleted along with some other vitamins and minerals. In particular about the type of magnesium, we don't want to just go to the drugstore and buy random magnesium because that either does not enough for helping calm the system or makes you your pants. Magnesium oxide, looking at you, girl. Glycinate is the form that I reach for the most during postpartum because it's the most aligned with calming the nervous system and supporting sleep. Next one here is L-theanine. L-theanine is a non-protein amino acid that really helps like push the calm button on things like anxiety. If you are a coffee drinker and coffee makes you feel a little bit jittery, this is also a really nice counterbalance. And then my last one here is, this is big, is glycine. This is really helpful if your issue is more waking up in the middle of the night, especially waking up at like 2 or 3 with your brain just like fully online. Glycine is one of my favorite simple tools for deeper, more restorative sleep. It's like basically telling your body, okay, we're off duty. It's time to relax. You don't need all 3 to start. Full disclosure, I take all 3. It's part of my sleep stack before I go to bed because I'm generally bad at sleep. Most moms that I work with start with magnesium, layer in some L-theanine if like panicky anxiety is more their flavor of nervous system stimulation. And then if sleep is the biggest problem, we layer in glycine. And if you're sitting here like, that's me to all 3 of these, but you don't want to be a weirdo like I am and have a bunch of different powders that you're mixing all together, I have a really nice combo product I like, and I can email that to you. So click the link in the description and I'll email you a list of all of these supplements that I like. Okay, next up, brain fuel, because if your brain is basically operating at like 2% battery all day long, you're not going to feel good, you're not going to think straight. So this next one actually helps feed your brain, and no, it's not just for gym bros. That's a big hint. Did you guess it? It's creatine. Okay, let's back up. So postpartum is basically an energy crisis. Your body is recovering from the marathon that is pregnancy, birth, sleep deprivation, maybe breastfeeding. You're running a household and holding all of the emotional and mental load. Maybe you're even back at work, and you're probably doing it all on not enough sleep. So it's not just I'm tired. You might feel like your brain just won't come online. Foggy, slow, forgetting words, and just dragging your body and your brain through the day like it's basically made out of concrete. Those symptoms aren't just, I'm a new mom and I have mom brain. They are, we have a brain fuel problem. But the funny thing is, sometimes when I suggest creatine in my clinic, moms sometimes look at me like I just suggested joining a CrossFit gym. No, taking creatine will not give you surging levels of testosterone or make you look like Gaston. This particular supplement can be really helpful in postpartum as well as perimenopause later, so don't let the boys keep this one from you. Okay, let's get a little bit nerdy. Creatine helps your cells make and recycle ATP, your body's basic energy currency. And during the high demand, high stress, low sleep season of postpartum and early motherhood, we need all the help we can get in the energy department, am I right? So you've probably mostly heard about creatine in the context of muscle gain. And while that's not quite what we're talking about today, that is actually really helpful for a postpartum mom. In my years working with new moms, I've observed that most moms actually lose a significant amount of muscle during pregnancy and postpartum, which then negatively impacts blood sugar control, metabolic rate, your strength, flexibility, and stability. So it's actually really important to get that muscle back. The research here on how creatine can help is extremely legit. We have randomized trials and meta-analyses showing creatine, when paired with protein and resistance training, supports strength and lean mass, and especially helpful for hormone and age-related muscle loss, which generally starts as women get into their 30s and beyond. And so all of that is super important and certainly extremely helpful for postpartum. But the reason I'm particularly obsessed with creatine in postpartum is actually the brain side. So in stressed states, like chronic sleep deprivation, your brain burns through energy faster. Creatine works like basically a bigger backup battery for your brain. And we have research, including controlled trials, showing it can support mental performance and cognitive resilience when you're under stress. So basically, it helps your stressed out and depleted mom brain feel less dumb. I'll take some of that. And on the mental health side, the research is super interesting as well. Creatine has been studied as a supportive add-on for depression, and there are clinical studies looking at creatine alongside medications like SSRIs, and in certain groups, we see improved outcomes for some of them. Now, of course, this is not a replacement for meds or therapy, and it's certainly not a magic pill, but creatine is a legitimate research-backed tool that's way more than a gym supplement. Now, creatine was all about fuel for your brain and your muscles. This next one is about something even more basic, oxygen. Because if you're not getting enough of this mineral, you're going to feel exhausted, grumpy, and brain foggy no matter what you do. And most moms aren't getting this properly checked out in postpartum. So if you feel like an agitated zombie who gets winded from walking up a flight of stairs, let's check your iron. Low iron levels, even before you're technically anemic, can cause a ton of symptoms that we often lump together and call the new mom special. Low mood, hair loss, brain fog, no motivation, exhausted to your bones, and dragging ass all day long. In some cases, this can even be mistaken as postpartum depression, or it's making postpartum depression symptoms worse. When your muscles and your brain are literally deprived of oxygen, you're going to feel that. And the infuriating part is how common this is and how uncommon it is to get proper testing. A huge percentage of women go into pregnancy already deficient in iron. The most recent studies show as high as 60% of women globally are iron deficient. 60% of women worldwide are iron deficient. Right? Okay. And then pregnancy is basically an iron donation program from you to your baby for 9 months. And then if you lost significant blood during labor and delivery, which is extremely common, we are set up for extreme iron deficiency. We tend to check this during pregnancy and keep an eye on it, but most women are not getting checked in the postpartum phase for iron deficiency. And so we might be walking around with severe iron deficiency and we're just told it's stress or welcome to motherhood, when this actually could be a fixable problem. But here's my rule. You never want to supplement iron without first getting a blood test to verify that it is actually iron deficiency causing your symptoms, because a lot of these symptoms can be caused by all sorts of different things. So ask your doctor for a full iron panel with ferritin, not just a CBC, to fully assess your iron status. While you're there, throw in a B12 and a folate, because that matters for energy production as well. So if your ferritin, which is your storage form of iron, is low, then we're going to talk about iron support, especially if you're symptomatic. I typically prefer a gentler on your tummy form of iron, like iron bisglycinate here. And if your numbers are very severe, your doctor might discuss an iron infusion with you. We also want to make sure that you're getting other complementary minerals alongside iron. So taking a good quality prenatal, which we already talked about in the beginning of this video, alongside targeted iron support is good to get a well-rounded complement of all of these vitamins and minerals. I do have some preferred brands for iron in addition to all of the others that we talk about today. So if you want me to email you a list of all of these supplements, including brands and doses and links on where to buy, just drop your email in the description below and I will send it to you via email. Now, dietary changes are also crucial here. I know we talked a lot about supplements and not too much about food. It's important to be paying attention to both here. In the case of iron, we want to increase red meat intake or start eating red meat if you're not already. 3 times a week is generally what I recommend. But the main point is, if you feel like trash, don't let anybody brush it off. Make sure that you're running comprehensive labs so that you can actually get under the hood and see what's going on and not just blame all of our symptoms on being a new mom. Quick recap here. Omega-3s help rebuild what was pulled from your brain and your body during pregnancy and postpartum. Magnesium, theanine, glycine help pull your nervous system out of high alert. Creatine helps actually fuel both your muscles and your brain, and iron can help make sure that you're not running at an oxygen deficit. Okay, moms, I hope you found this helpful today. Please tell me in the comments which postpartum symptom is bothering you the most lately, maybe anxiety, brain fog, exhaustion, or something else, and I'll make sure to do a dedicated video on that topic.